Great. So this is fun, guys. We get to do some yoga on Zoom. It's been a while. Um, I have some padding for my knees just while we're thinking about it. Before we start, if you guys want to, if you need anything, depending on your flooring at home, you can grab a pillow or a blanket and fold it up. And then if you want blocks, just feel free to grab your blocks. But we'll start in a standing position. And just find your feet hip distance apart and take a moment just to feel all parts of each foot in contact with the ground. So just kind of tuning into your feet and the pressure that's countering gravity, if you will. Maybe you even rock a little forward, rock a little back. Just kind of notice what areas of your feet are in contact, what areas are not in contact with the ground or mat. Just having that sense of grounding. And then if you're comfortable, let's find middle position and close your eyes here for a moment if you're comfortable. You can always hold on to something too or move by a wall or a piece of furniture. And now with your eyes closed, finding whatever stability you need, support system, let's slowly try to lengthen through the whole spine. Feeling just like this reach up and out of your pelvis, all the way up through the crown of your head. And once you feel that lengthening, just take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale out the mouth. And again, in through the nose if that works. And out through the mouth. And then just breathe normally. You can open your eyes. Let's take both shoulders and shrug them up to the ears. Roll them back and down. A couple times here. Ooh, feel those neck muscles from the shoveling. And then let the shoulders rest. Now we'll take an inhale and just reach the arms out to the sides and up overhead. Exhale, allow them to float down and just bend your knees a bit as you fold forward. Let the head relax. Let the whole body kind of relax here, but give those hamstrings a little help so you can let those knees bend. Maybe you rock the hips side to side a little bit. And then find middle position again. Bend the knees a little more. Press through the feet to power up to stand. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then let's wiggle the feet together all the way. We can have the palms facing each other. A little tightening of the belly muscles. And let's just lean over towards one side. And back to center. And now lean over to the other side. And back to center. You can take arms to heart center here, and then let's bend the knees and fold forward. Feel free to wiggle the feet a little bit apart if they were still together. And then from here, let's step back to our down dog, our first down dog position. So one leg at a time, just take a moment to find down dog. Take any little movements here in the down dog that would feel good. Maybe a little pedaling action of bringing one heel up and then the other. And then finding stillness. Take an inhale, let's lift the heels high. And on the exhale, let the heels sink down low. And then from here, let's take our knees down to find hands and knees. I did take one little spill on the rocks at the beach, like total front plant. And so my right knee, I can't kneel on it unless I have a lot of cushion right now. So that's why I'm using this nice little, it's actually a wheelchair like padding cushion. So it works lovely. But from hands and knees, let's find a little cat and cow. Just really letting that spine flow and glide in the movement, in the range that it wants to move. Breathing in as you lower the navel towards the floor, and breathing out as you round the spine upward. Really feeling free to move slower or faster, but see what you can notice. What areas of your spine do you notice more? For me, it's the right side. Like the left side feels all the way up and down nice. The right side feels all the way up and down nice and tight. And maybe for you, you notice the low back, or maybe it's not right or left. Maybe it's the upper spine or the middle spine. Just kind of tune in, see what you can notice. If you want to, you can do a little side to side move. And then let's take a pause and find a child's pose with our knees wide and the heels together. Just rocking the hips back any amount. Reaching the arms forward any amount. Breath in, breath out. And then let's find hands and knees again. And tightening belly muscles, we can take the right leg and reach that leg behind you. Option to keep both hands down, or if you want to, you can add the left arm lifting. Drawing belly towards spine here. Really energizing through this pose, this posture. And now let's take the left hand down, and with that, if it's lifted, with that right leg, you can sweep it around to the side if you'd like to, or just bring it on in if you need a break. But swing it onto the side if that works. And then you can rock the hips back towards that back heel a little bit. Any amount, finding that inner thigh stretch on the right leg. You can rock or you can hold this position. Kind of just depends on how much you're feeling, how much of a stretch you're feeling. And then from here, let's really draw belly towards spine. So with a tightening maneuver, power through the arms, engage those shoulder muscles, and then we're gonna lift that leg and bring it on around and in. Taking the left leg back, and then the right arm forward if you choose. Again, finding energy through this position. And then we can lower the right arm and draw the left leg around to the side, finding your inner thigh stretch on this side. You can rock a little forward and back, or just simply hold the stretch. Again, it kind of depends on how much of a stretch you're feeling with this. And then from here, power through the hands and the shoulders to really feel those shoulder muscles engage as you press into the mat. Tighten belly muscles, lift that left leg, and we'll draw it around and back in. Let's take a pause here just to rock back and do a few wrist circles, one direction and then the other direction. Maybe feeling those forearms from shoveling snow too. And then planting the hands, let's tuck the toes, and we'll find our down dog position again. Nice deep breath in and out. And now walking the feet towards the hands. You can bend the knees and then power through the feet. Let's rise up to stand. Inhale, reach. Exhale, arms to heart center. Take a pause here. Let's just breathe in and out. Feel the neck muscles relax, release, and find that tall spine. And then let's go ahead and bend the knees as we fold forward. You're welcome to use your blocks at any point. And then from this four-fold position, we'll step that right leg back long so we find our nice deep lunge. Feel free to adjust your blocks if you want them lengthways to stay a little higher. We can do that. Just breathing here, lengthening through the crown of your head. And then let's lower that back knee down. And we can plant, so the right knee comes to the ground. We can plant your right arm and then just take a lift with that left arm, a twist. Drawing belly towards spine, so we have a little tightening of the belly muscles here. And then let's untwist. From here, we can help that left leg underneath us. So we find hands and knees. And then just find a plank position. So you can have kneeling plank if you prefer, or lift the knees. Either way, pressing into the arms, engaging those muscles across the upper back, along with the core. And then lifting the hips, let's find down dog. Breath in, breath out. And then we're gonna walk the feet forward. Bending through the knees, let's find a chair position. Arms can stay heart center if you prefer. And then all the way to stand, reaching upward. If you want to add a little back bend, that's fine, whatever feels good for your spine. And then arms to heart center, pausing, breath in, breath out. And bending the knees, let's fold forward. This time we'll step back with that left leg. So taking a nice long step back. Again, you can use your blocks if you'd like to. Finding nice deep lunge here with supports, and then long through the spine. Feel an openness across the chest, breathing, connecting all parts of your body, the right foot, the pelvis, the back foot, through the crown of the head, the whole spine. Feeling the hands engage. And then from here, we'll take that back knee down. And we can plant the left arm, and then the right arm can lift for the twist. Thinking about tightening belly muscles, and then maybe even try to connect fingertip to fingertip. So just imagine like you have a yardstick that is nice and straight, and connecting from one arm all the way down to the other arm, finding that nice long connection. And then we'll untwist here. We can help that right leg underneath us, so we're back to hands and knees. Again, your choice if you want to take a kneeling plank where you're tightening belly muscles, or lift the knees. From this plank position, we can come down to forearm. Again, option to take the knees down. And then from here, all the way to belly. Finding your way to belly, we can take pinkies towards hips. And then a long spine with a little bit of a chin tuck, kind of like you're holding a grapefruit between your chest and your chin. So we're lifting like a little bit of a cobra move here, tucking the chin a hair, tighten belly muscles, and then we can add our leg lift too if you'd like to. Finding our locust here. And then let's come down all the way to belly, rest your legs, rest your upper body. You can take forehead to fist, or simply turn your head one direction. And just take a few breaths here. Feel the support that the mat offers your body. If your head is turned one direction, go ahead and turn it the other direction so we get both sides of the neck stretched. And then we'll find middle position again, arms on either side. So if you tighten belly muscles, we're gonna press back up to hands and knees. And then you can tuck toes and we'll find our down dog. Inhale, lift the heels high. Exhale, let the heels sink. And now walking the feet towards the hands, bending through the knees. Let's power up to stand. Taking an inhale, reaching the arms overhead. And then let's take left hand to hip. And with that right arm, we'll reach it up and then wiggle the feet together, and then lean over towards one side. If your right arm is lifted, we're leaning to the left. And back to center, swapping sides, right hand to hip, left arm reaches tall and leaning over. And back to center, interlacing the arms behind you if that works for you. If it doesn't, you can reach just palms towards each other. So either interlacing or finding palms towards each other. Let's reach the arms, open the chest, and then bend the knees and just fold forward. The arms can reach overhead, let the head relax. And now allow the arms to just drop down towards the mat. From here, we're gonna step that right leg back long again. And then we can find that nice deep lunge. Breath in, breath out. Finding length through the spine. This time we'll add the twist, but with that back knee straight if you choose. And so if you want to, you can take the back knee down or keep it up. Right hand plants, left arm lifts. And now we're untwisting. From here, we're gonna wiggle our way, so walk the hands to the right, and we're gonna find that wide leg position. And so just pausing in that wide leg position, let your body stretch and sink in here, maintaining muscle support though. So we're tightening belly muscles, we're not snapping the knees back, we're not locking them out. Let the head relax. And then walking the hands back around towards that left leg again. We're bending the left knee, so we're back into that nice deep lunge. Breath in, breath out. A good push off that right leg, step it on in, and then we're gonna step the left leg back. Reaching the left leg back long, and then finding length here through the whole spine. Always the option to take that back knee down if you'd like to. And then we can plant the left hand, lifting the right arm, finding our twist, back knee lifted or down. And then we're gonna untwist here, and we're gonna take that wide leg position. So wiggle on around to find that wide leg position. Same thing that we did after we did the other leg, just another go at another chance to feel that hamstring stretch and the inner thigh stretch. Let the head relax. And now from this position, we're gonna add in a little bit. So let's bend the right knee. We're gonna inch our way down a little bit towards that right foot. We can walk our hands to the right side. Back to middle, over to the other side. Bend your left knee. Little side to side movement here. Back to the middle. One more time each side. You can keep it higher, or if you want to go lower, if that's within the flexibility of your hips and joints, feel free to take that lower position. And then over to the other side one more time. And back to center. And then we're just gonna wiggle our way around to find the top edge of the mat again, finding both feet together, hip distance apart, bend your knees, and let's rise up to stand. Inhale, reach. Exhale, arms to heart center. If you're comfortable closing eyes here, just close your eyes for a moment, find your balance. Reset. Breath in, breath out. And then opening eyes, we're gonna soften through the knees, folding forward. From our forward fold position, let's step the right leg back. We're gonna come up to a warrior one. So the back heel is planted and the toes are out of it. And then just find a nice stable warrior one position. Feeling both feet grounded here. Finding your breath. It feels so good to get everything moving from fingertip to pinky toe, you guys. Hope you're feeling the same. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's take from here the left hand to the hip, and then reaching a little taller with the right fingertips. Lean a little bit to your left. It doesn't have to be much. And really think about pressing into the right foot at the same time. Pressing through that right leg. And back to center. Let's take both arms and reach them up. And now cactus the arms down, pulling shoulder blades together, opening through the chest. And arms to heart center. Press off that right foot and we'll step it in to meet the left. And now folding forward. Let the head relax for a moment. Breath in, breath out. Now stepping the left leg back, planting the back heel and toe. Bringing the arms up, we'll find warrior one here. Strong through both feet. Finding your breath, calming your breath. Then we can take the right hand to hip, reaching a little bit taller through the left fingertips, and then a little lean to your right as you're pressing into that left foot. I know that was a lot of right and left. Then back through center and bringing both arms up. And now cactus the arms downward, opening the chest and pulling shoulder blades together. And arms to heart center. We'll step that left leg in to meet the right leg. Let's take an inhale, overhead reach. Exhale, arms to heart center. Pausing if you're comfortable here, closing eyes. Just check in with your body. Notice how you're feeling. And then opening eyes. From here, let's face the wide edge of the mat for a moment. And then we're gonna, flip to face the long edge of the mat. And then let's take your right leg and we're gonna turn it to the front edge of front side of that mat. And then the back leg, the toes are kind of pointing towards the long edge of the mat. And so from here, we're going to make our way into a pyramid position. So if you want to, eventually, so if you want to have your block handy, feel free. So right leg is turned towards the long edge of the mat, or I guess now I'm really getting everybody confused, but I think you guys got it. So setting up for pyramid pose here, block in front of your leg for when we need it. And then let's walk our way, tighten belly muscles, walk our way halfway down that right leg. So we're finding a nice, tall, long spine here. And then we can take the right hand to the right hip. And if it feels okay, reach that left arm forward for a moment. Breath in. And then on the exhale, just let that left arm float down to mat or block, wherever that left hand needs to land. We're kind of modifying this pyramid pose to add a little bit more rotation, a little twisting of the spine with it. Press now into your left hand. And just notice what you're feeling here. And now let's soften the right knee and the left knee a little to help us. We're just going to come right on back up to standing. And then wiggle the feet to the other direction. So now the left toe is pointing the other way. So we're just flipping the sides, essentially. You can set up your block for when you need it in front of that left leg. And then we're angling towards pyramid pose on the other side. And we can shift our body forward, long through the spine. And then let's keep the left hand on the left hip. And we can reach the right arm forward with an inhale. And on the exhale, let the arm float down towards the mat or a block. Let the body get used to that position for just a moment. And then the next phase is to push into that right hand, which allows you a little bit of that twist, a little rotation through the spine, really getting into, this is the setup probably for like your revolving triangle pose, but we won't go into the full pose today. Just a nice way to get those paraspinal muscles on either side of your spine a little stretched, and those tend to get a little fired up with the shoveling the snow business. And then let's untwist a little. If you're twisted, bend the knees a bit, soften through the knees. That'll give you some leverage to really push through the feet to help you back up. And then just find feet together, top edge of the mat. Take a couple shoulder shrugs. Breathe. And then arms to heart center. Let's fold forward. And now we're going to step the right leg back long. We'll transition into warrior two. So the back heel is down. We're going to lift and swing the arm up and around. And then we're finding our warrior two position with a left knee bent. Pressing that left thigh outward. And nice and strong through and straight through that right leg. Finding a strength pose here, holding. And then let's reverse the warrior. So right arm down, left arm lifts. And back through, warrior two. Let's move into our side angle, elbow towards thigh, reaching that right arm up. You can turn this into the extended side angle. If that right arm goes further, feel free to take it to where you feel that really nice long stretch. Down the right side body. If your neck allows it, you can turn your chin to be looking down towards your left foot. You may feel a little more neck stretch with that. As always, work within the comfort of what your body allows. And now let's come back up, warrior two. Straighten the left knee. Breath in, breath out. Turning palms up. We can shift over to the left, then down for triangle here. Now let's bend that left knee, back up, warrior two. Arms to heart center. And then we're gonna just step forward to face the front edge of the mat. Let's pause here, take a breath in and breath out. And now folding forward. Keeping the knees nice and soft in this forward fold position. We lessen the tension on the sciatic nerve. We just give the nerve structures lots of good support here. So we're not really trying to stretch them too much. And now let's take the left leg and step it back. We're gonna come up to a warrior two. So back heel down, toes are out. And then we find that left arm swing up and around. And now we're in warrior two. Right knee is bent, left knee is straight. Finding a solid pose here. And then reversing this warrior, left arm down, right arm lifts. And back through warrior two. Let's find our side angle, elbow towards thigh. Reaching the left arm up. Again, your choice if you want to reach that arm over a little further to find extended side angle, whatever works for your shoulders, rib cage, all of the above. And then back up warrior two. Straightening the right knee. Let's pause here, take a breath. Turning the palms up. We'll shift to the right and then down for triangle. And now bend that right knee back up. Warrior two. Arms to heart center. And we're gonna step to find the top edge of the mat. And just take a pause here. If you're comfortable closing eyes. Breathe in, breathe out. Connect the whole body, head to toe. Tune into your breathing to make that connection. And just notice on your exhale how certain areas of your body maybe respond to that exhale. And then let's open eyes, and if they're closed, and we're gonna move into our balance a little bit more. So if you wanna be by a wall or a piece of furniture, feel free to relocate at home. But finding our tree pose initially, let's root through the right foot, and we can lift the left to ankle, we can lift it to inner thigh higher up, or you can place it on a block too, if you wanna still have like a toe down position for a little extra support. So find your tree pose here, your balance. Rooting strongly through the right foot, engaging the right outer rear, squeezing the butt muscle, tighten belly muscles, find that lift up and out of your pelvis. If you want to, you can add those arms. Breathing in and out. And then arms to heart center. Let's move on to the other leg. So lower back to 2 feet. On to the other leg. Same thing. Finding your choice of tree pose. Setting up that stable base through your left leg so you feel all 4 corners of your left foot. You're engaging that left rear. Belly is drawn inward with a tightening. And then if you want to, you can add your arms of choice here. And arms to heart center now. Back to 2 feet. We're gonna go into tree pose on the other leg again, tying in another balance pose. So drawing that left leg upward. And then from here, let's take the left leg and cross it over figure 4. So finding that figure 4 position and then sitting the hips back. Again, you can do this up against a wall or holding onto something too for extra support. Just checking in, we want to make sure that the hips and the pelvis stay where we're facing. So we're not sinking into your standing leg. So we want to kind of keep the level of the pelvis here as you're sitting the hips back. Finding that nice outer hip stretch on the left side, perhaps. And then slowly back to 2 feet. Let's give that right leg a little wiggle before we go on to the other side. So some ankle turns here on the right side. And now back to 2 feet, rooting through your left leg. We find tree pose as our preparation here. Pausing, breath in and out. And then we can cross the right leg over the left and find our figure 4 here. Sitting the hips back. Woo, feel that tightness in the outer hip. You may have a tight side. You may not. And then slowly back up. Let's find 2 feet and give that left ankle a little chance to do some circles one direction and then the other direction. All right, back to 2 legs. Good work. Take a couple shoulder shrugs and rolls. Let's just take a pause here for a second to find our feet hip distance apart. And we're just going to take some neck movements. So chin to chest, breath in and out. Roll the neck back to middle. Let's turn the head one direction. Back to middle, turn the head the other direction. Back to middle, and inhale, reach the arms overhead. If it works, you can interlace the arms and just take a nice stretch upward. Tighten belly muscles now, engage your glute muscles. So we're gonna squeeze the rear a bit and then take a little lean over to one side, let the head go with you. Back to center and over to the other side. Back to center. Arms to heart center. We'll face the top edge of the mat. And then fold forward. Let the head relax here. Breath in, breath out. Planting the hands, we'll step back to our down dog. Let's inhale, lift the heels high. And exhale, let the heels sink down low. Any amount towards the mat. And then from here, let's inhale and lift the right leg up behind you. If that works okay for you, you can bend your knee and then open up the hip a little bit. As we do that, we're pressing into the right hand still. We're trying to keep those shoulders squared up. A nice stretch for that right front side area. I can't show you without falling over apparently, but you're probably feeling it. So right leg lifted, bend the knee, open the hip. And then let's straighten the leg back out and bring it down. We're gonna take a child's pose in between to give the hands and shoulders and wrists a break. So sit the hips back, find a child's pose here, breath in and out. And then rocking forward, back to your down dog. And let's inhale, lift the left leg up. Bend the knee, open hip. Pressing into the left hand. Keeping the shoulders squared up. And then we can lower that left leg back down. Let's lower the knees here to hands and knees. We're gonna come to a seated position. So from sitting, let's go ahead and tuck your left leg in and the right leg out to the side. Finding length through your spine here from seated position. We'll reach for that right leg. And then we can take the left arm up and over. Tuning into your breathing here. Just let the body respond in these stretches with your breath. And then back up. Before we change legs here, let's take a little counter rotation. So twist towards your left. And with a tall spine, let's just pause here. So find this twist. Breathe and hold. Hold the twist, don't hold your breath. And then back to center. Now let's change legs. So tucking the right leg in, left leg out straight. Find length through your spine first. And then we can reach down towards that left leg any amount, right arm up and over. And then we're gonna come back upright and take a counter rotation. So a twist towards your right, long through the spine. And then we're untwisting here. Let's take both legs out wide. Find length through your spine, and then we can shift our way forward any amount, finding your wide leg Split stretch and breathing. Then from here, let's make our way back upright. And we're gonna shift onto our back. So finding your way down towards your back here, we can keep our knees bent. And let's find a bridge. So pressing into your feet, lift your hips, keeping the thighs parallel. And finding some openness across the front part of the hips here. Checking in with your neck to make sure that we're keeping that relaxed. Pressing into all four corners of each foot. And then lowering back down. Let's hug both knees into chest here. Maybe a little side to side rock just to loosen up that low back. Now keeping the left knee hugged in, we're gonna reach the right leg out straight on the mat. If it feels better to keep it bent, totally fine. But hug that left knee in. And then let's slowly draw the left knee across the body a little bit. So we're finding an outer hip stretch on that left side. If you want to take the left arm out, feel free. You can hold here, or if you choose, you can go all the way over into a nice full twist. Your choice, depending on how things are feeling. Hold and breathe here. And then coming back, rocking back to middle, hug both knees into the chest again, a little side to side rock. These nice gentle movements can really help with that low back stiffness, just to loosen things up. So now let's take that left leg out straight, hug the right knee into the chest. And then we can draw the left leg across the body, any amount, taking the right arm out to the side. You can take that into the full spinal twist or just go part way if you're getting a really good stretch in that outer hip area. Breathing in, breathing out. And now let's come back to center, hugging both knees into the chest. Finding our butterfly position next, so feet together, knees wide. And let's take a little diaphragmatic breathing here. On the inhale, feel the belly rise. Let's add the rib cage expansion, and then direct the air under the lung or up under the collarbones. And then on the exhale, release. Everything goes back in the reverse. So try 2 or 3 breaths with that 3-part breath. Belly, rib cage. Imagine the air fully filling those lungs. And then blow the air out the mouth. And after 2 or 3 breaths that way, then just shift into your comfortable base diaphragmatic breathing. Where on the inhale, the belly rises, on the exhale, the belly lowers. Allow your jaw to soften and your neck to relax. Allow the area behind your eyes to relax. Allow your spine to relax. And now let's draw the knees towards each other. And we can wiggle the feet hip distance apart. If you want to take the arms out to the sides with the palms up, feel free. And then we're going to cross the right leg over the left. You can cross it like eagle leg style so the inner thighs are hugging, or figure four, your choice. And then we're going to let the knees rock to the left. Maybe you try one and it doesn't feel good, then try the other. And then drawing the right hip back down towards the mat as you come back to your start position. Then let's change legs. So crossing the left leg over the right, either that figure four or hugging the knees, the thighs towards each other. And now the knees are gonna rock towards the right side. Now let's bring the knees back towards middle. And we can uncross. Feel free just to take a little gentle, small range kind of rock side to side with your knees. It might feel quite nice just to loosen things up again in that low back area. And then finding our middle position with our legs, let's push the small of the back down towards the mat. And then we're reaching the arms with the palms facing each other, up and overhead, pulling the shoulders away from our ears at the same time, just finding that shoulder stretch here. Maybe the thumbs can land on the ground, maybe not. Just notice. Pressing the spine into the mat so that we're not arching at all through that spine. And then we can bring the arms back down by our sides. This time we'll add a little bit of a bridge with that. So inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms. Exhale, lower hips, lower arms. One more time like that. Inhale, reach up and over. And exhale, lower. Taking a pause here, let's feel free to finish up with any other stretches that the body feels like it wants to do. So take a moment just to check in, notice how you're feeling. Maybe you're just craving a plow position or a supine pigeon position. Just tune into your whole body and what you're feeling. Any other stretches that your body is craving to do to finish out your practice. And then as you're finishing up with that, you can find your way into Shavasana, feeling free to keep your knees bent or straight. And take a moment here just to bring your awareness and your focus back to your breath. Tuning into the sense of your breath as it enters your deep nasal passages, into your lungs, and then as it exits, as you blow that air out the mouth, following now that breath cycle a couple more times, in through the nose, tuning into the sensations that arise with the breathing. Take a moment now just to shift into a comfortable breathing pattern, not trying to force anything. Just notice mentally how you feel. Acknowledging in present moment thought patterns. Maybe it's ones that are serving you, or maybe they're thought patterns that you need to give yourself permission to let go of. And then from here, I invite you just to hug both knees into your chest, a little side to side rocking motion again. And make our way over towards a side of choice and slowly back upright to a seated position. And just take a moment to shrug your shoulders a little, wiggle your neck around a bit. Check in with your whole body. Finding that nice tall spine. And then from here, we can close out the class. So taking arms to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.